I decided to change my intro. But anyway, for today's video, we are going to be doing an art kit. This kit is called Slime Goop, so it is a slime making kit. And inside are first the instructions. They were pretty basic. Next was a pack of sodium tetraborate. There was also a plastic spoon, a pack of glitter. Next was a plastic measuring cup, and then a small little bottle of white glue. There was also another plastic container. I'm not sure if this was the one that belongs in the kit or the other one. And finally, there was blue dye. There was supposed to be purple dye too, but that was all I could find. Because this kit was supposed to have 2 stirring sticks I couldn't find, I had popsicle sticks instead. The first step was to put 25 milliliters of water into a plastic cup. But instead of doing 25, I did 50 because technically I was supposed to make one part of this purple and the other part blue, but because I only have the blue dye, I'm going to double the recipe. The next step was to add 2 spoonfuls of the sodium into the water. After I measured it out, I added both of the spoonfuls in and then I mixed. I was supposed to mix until it was fully dissolved, but little did I know that I did not mix it very well. Next step was to set aside the sodium mixture and then pour another 25 milliliters of water into another cup. Then next, I was supposed to add the white glue. And it was not white, at least not at first. Because I've had this kit for so long, the color is separated in the glue, so part of it was clear and the other part was light. And here's where I struggled for about 5 minutes to try to get every last bit of glue out of the container. So far, I wasn't having too much fun with this kit, and I really did not have high hopes for this kit, at all. But then I was supposed to add the glue into the cup. It was quite tricky just to get it out, and I wish I would have just poured the container straight from the bottle into the cup rather than measuring it out, because this took so long and I wasted a lot of glue. But after the glue was added, I started mixing it around, and I mixed it quite a bit. It seems like so far all I've been doing is mixing and mixing and mixing. Next, it was time to add the blue dye. And then, just when I went to pour it in, the part of the cap fell right into the cup. Then I had to fish that all of the way out of the blue mixture before I could add the rest of the dye. I added a couple of drops, but I ended up adding more later. And then I mixed and mixed and mixed. And after it was all done being mixed up, I added the glitter. And I added all of it, which I should not have done, and I live to regret it to this day. And I bet you can guess what I'm going to do next. More mixing. Next was the part where I combined both of the mixtures, and then I mixed them together. So the slime clumped together in some areas, while the others stayed unactivated. But as I kept mixing, it started getting better. Or so I thought. But anyway, I just kept mixing and mixing and mixing. So this kit is pretty old, so I wasn't exactly sure how well the slime would turn out. But so far, it seemed to be going good. And so here's when I thought the slime was done. I started playing with it in the container and it seemed like a really nice slime. But I took it out of the container and it was really sticky, so I decided to add more of the sodium. And it seemed like it was doing a lot better. But then I decided to take it out again, and it just kept sticking to my fingers. It would not want to come off, so I put it back in the container and I decided to add more of the sodium because I thought that might work. I should not have done that. I don't know why I cared so much about this slime. It was a cheap kit and I was just trying to add more and more stuff hoping it would turn out. Because for some reason I did not want to give up on the slime, I decided to add a cotton candy fragrance. I knew it probably wasn't going to help with the stickiness, but I decided to add it anyway. I also used the rest of the sodium, rest of the glue, and all of one little pack of glue I found somewhere in my room. But the slime was just so sticky. Slime felt perfectly fine when I mixed in the container, but when I played with it, it was just so sticky. So then I had the great idea to try to mix clay into the slime. I thought it would give it a nice texture, maybe take away the stickiness, but they were not sticking together at all. So I eventually had to just take the clay out. And next, I decided to look around for some glue, and I added that into the slime. So I mixed it around, and I was surprised because it made the slime softer and less sticky. And I was actually beginning to think that there was hope for this slime. So I added a lot more glue. I mean a lot. to the point where I had to use a different bottle of glue because I had ran out of the first bottle. So I mixed that all around and I was very excited about this slime because it was finally coming together. And I was quite glad that I did not give up on the slime when I thought I should have. At first, I didn't know if adding the glue would be a good idea, but after realizing the worst that could happen is me throwing the slime away, I decided to experiment. And then I added more and more glue because it just kept making the slime better and better. Next, I decided to add the slime into its own little container. I am very, very proud of this slime and I spent a long time trying to perfect it. And now it smells good and feels very nice. I really wish I would not have added that much glitter because even now when I play with the slime, my hands are just covered in glitter. And there was so much glitter in that cup and in its container. And the next thing I decided to do was search around my room for a little charm and I added that into the slime. And finally, the slime was all complete. I'm so glad I got the slime to turn out proper and it feels so nice. It's pretty stretchy and it's very, very, very soft. The fragrance smells very good, even though it does not smell like cotton candy. I'm so glad I decided to use other ingredients that did not come in this kit, otherwise I probably would have thrown this slime away. But it was a very cheap kit. I'm pretty sure I got it at the dollar store, so you can't expect much from that. I'm literally obsessed with this slime now, and this might be one of my favorite things that I've created on my channel. I'm not sure why, but I love this slime. So I added the slime back in its container and then I just kept messing around with it because it was so much fun to play with. But after this experience, do I recommend this kit to anyone? No, I don't.